Success. What is it to you? By Emily, Aaron, and Marissa.
To begin, our project centers around the overall question of how does the parenting style that you grew up with affect your viewpoints on your success, goals, and happiness in your life. We were interested in looking at Bentley students from different cultural backgrounds to find if there were similarities or differences among these views. All of us were intrigued by different parenting styles in our class discussion on Amy Chua's polarizing article, Why Chinese Mothers Are Superior. We dive into parenting styles, success, and happiness throughout this presentation.
Our research consisted of a 15-question standardized survey that we sent to current Bentley students, and we received a total of 31 responses. Since we have more than 30 responses, we can assume a normal distribution and continue on with our data. The question gathered general background information about the demographic of our sample as well as the sample's varying perceptions of success and how they intend to achieve it.
The goal of our survey was to gather insights on our participants. Our first question centered around the diversity of our sample's ethnicity and family backgrounds. As we talked about in class, there are negatives of putting people in so-called boxes, so we made this an open-ended question. While the majority of our sample had European heritage, there were respondents from a variety of ethnicities, including Asian and Japanese cultures as well.
Interesting thing to think about is from a study done by Laura Ettinger-Schons. She found that people reporting more oneness generally felt more satisfied with life, and this was true across different religions. Keep this in mind in your own life and while you listen to the rest of our presentation. Our second question centered around the religious affiliation of our sample. This question was not required by our questionnaire, so we did not get full response. Again, we had a variety of responses. In analyzing the clusters of our data, we could ensure that religion would not be overly impactful. However, one interesting thing to think about is from a study done by Laura Ettinger-Schons. She found that people reporting more oneness generally felt more satisfied with life, and this was true across different religions. Keep this in mind in your own life and while you listen to the rest of our presentation.
Next, we surveyed the general involvement outside of the classroom. Almost all of the respondents were involved in either sports or other types of extracurricular activities. In the Handbook of Stress Science, Biology, Psychology, and Health, Teresa Edenfield and James Blumenthal explored the link between exercise and physical health to overall quality of life. They explained that there are multiple ways to reduce your stress levels using exercise as a tool.
We also asked how strict parents were about grades in school where all respondents were growing up. The majority of respondents' parents were reflective of an authoritative parenting style, which according to the American Psychological Association is defined as supportive yet boundary setting. Furthermore, about 28% of students reported very strict parents, or those reflective of an authoritarian parenting style, which Tracy Troutner defines as ruling with an iron fist. Overall, the responses were rightly skewed, meaning parents were more strict than not, which is perhaps indicative of the results showing that our sample is highly motivated and achieving.
There was a larger spread in the response of how strict parents were about achievements in extracurricular activities and athletics. Again, most parents were strict, but some were not strict at all, differing greatly from the previous question's responses. This spread is more symmetrical than the previous question also, meaning that there may be more leniency from parents over extracurriculars. As we learned from Chua's article, her culture was extremely strict when learning the piano and restricted her children from participating in athletics. On the contrary, parents of athletes may be just as strict, but in the opposite way. Some students are forced into sports and must travel to many practices in order to get better and receive a scholarship. We found from this data that people from different cultures and parenting styles may experience similar things, but what their parents are strict for may be different.
The next question surveyed different types of child activities, both structured and unstructured. Respondents spent a large amount of time with other children their age in teams activities and personal activities.
We also asked how strict parents were about grades in school where all respondents were growing up. The majority of respondents' parents were reflective of an authoritative parenting style, which according to the American Psychological Association is defined as supportive yet boundary setting. Furthermore, about 28% of students reported very strict parents, or those reflective of an authoritarian parenting style, which Tracy Troutner defines as ruling with an iron fist. Overall, the responses were rightly skewed, meaning parents were more strict than not, which is perhaps indicative of the results showing that our sample is highly motivated and achieving.
In addition, we asked our participants how they would describe their ability to strive for success. The results were rightly skewed, in which the survey participants felt they held a higher ability to strive for success. This may be related to the sample's identity as business students, specifically at a top university like Bentley, where confidence and achievement are embraced and self-deprecation is discouraged.
We are able to see that the respondents measure their classroom success through perfection. The highest award appears to make the respondents feel more successful in the classroom. They feel much less successful when they receive a lower grade, such as a B or lower. According to Maura Kocha, people will find academic success to be based on two themes: intrinsic factors, including motivation, self-directed learning, and personal skills, and extrinsic factors, including teaching content and the student support structure.
The ultimate success for most of the respondents consisted of getting a well-paying job, growing a family, and marriage. Less of the results sat in options with high honors in college and being financially free. While our past data collection seemed consistent with stereotypes of business schools, this data diverged. Clearly, our sample is more focused on emotional stability and comfort rather than self-focused goals.
Next, we asked our participants at what age do they want to reach their view of ultimate success. We found that 62.5% of respondents want to achieve their view of ultimate success between the ages of 25 and 34, with ages 35 and 44 following at about 22%. These results were not overly surprising as they correlate with the timeline of the business world. Between the ages of 25 and 34 is typically when young businessmen and women secure a financially stable job and begin to achieve upward mobility. Likewise, 35 to 44 range is consistent with the family goals outlined in the past responses. A follow-up question may be, what if you don't achieve your success within your own time frame? Can you still believe that you reached ultimate success? And does this ultimate success mean ultimate happiness, or is it the other way around?
The answers were pretty much split evenly when asking if you needed to be successful in order to be happy. About half say you do need to be successful in order to be happy, and the other half disagree. However, people feel independent as to whether money can buy happiness. According to previous answers, people classify parts of success with intangibles the same or more as with their financial successes. It seems as though we grew up thinking that you must be successful in order to be happy, so it is important to see another perspective, and neuroscience suggests that we may have the sequence the wrong way around.
Currently, respondents are relatively satisfied with their lives. Only about 6.3% feel at a level 2 or less on our happiness scale, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. As Marissa previously mentioned, 87.5% of the participants responded that they wished to reach their view of ultimate success at ages 25 and above. Therefore, if we are searching for a correlation of happiness and success, this distribution may show that participants can be beginning to grow their levels of happiness prior to reaching their ultimate success.
The authors of the article, What Makes University Students Happy?, report that the findings reveal that the most important influences on students' levels of satisfaction are social relationships, resources, and the educational environment, personal goal achieving, and extracurricular activities. In concluding matters, respondents achieve their happiness mostly through relationship and athletic success. To our surprise, academic success only contributes to about 12.5% of what makes respondents happy. People feel most happy when they have good and solid relationships with others.
Was an overwhelming 84.4% of the participants saying that their life goals consisted of being happy and successful. As Bentley students, we often are consumed with updating our LinkedIn profiles and resumes in order to get the best job after college and hopefully be successful in our careers. At school, we are taught how to make a balance sheet, write successful business plans, and give presentations. Little of our education is geared towards how to be happy in your life and what it takes to put your work aside to do so in certain situations. Our results to this question shows that even if we consistently learn about the keys to success, what we are truly trying to gain is how to be happy in our lives. It makes you take a step back and decrease all of the stress and pressure you put upon getting that 4.0 in your business class or getting a big-time job, and focus on the other parts of your life that help to make you happier. In a previous question, we learned that a majority of the participants, no matter what culture they originated from, value their relationship successes over academic or athletic success. We believe that this majority correlates with the life goals of everyone in the study to include happiness. So, our challenge to you as final season is upon us is to take a step back and reflect on how you are feeling, whether that's sad, stressed, or tired, and think of an activity you can do in order to better that mood that you are in. In the end, it doesn't matter what cultural background you come from, what religion you practice, or what part of the world you are from or even in. Everyone in life wants to be happy. Our goal is to send the message that building up your confidence and happiness will only help you reach the career and personal goals that you have.
And lastly, we would like to say good luck on finals, everyone. And here's our Works Cited page, followed by a very applicable TED Talk.